You know those situations where someone was right about something and they always say like, I don't need to say I told you so, you learned your lesson, I'll be the bigger man here and not say I told you so? That's just such a load of dog shit. I'm 5'6", I'm not that big a man, so here's me saying I told you so. About like 6 months ago, maybe even longer, on stream, I went on a massive tirade about how the majority of those primitive building YouTube channels were fake. And I pulled up multiple videos to try and prove my point, and I was met with nothing but vitriol. People were calling me stupid, calling me wrong, calling me dumb idiot brain, like all kinds of insults about me not being right. Despite my evidence being pretty much irrefutable, I thought, people just wanted to live in their delusion that their favorite primitive building YouTube channel was legitimate, but they're not. And a YouTuber named SunnyV2 posted a massive video that's done extremely well that most people have seen by now, which vindicates me, proving that the channels that I'm talking about were fake. There's only a couple real ones, the biggest being Primitive Technology, which I always said was real. It's the only real one that I know of, but I'm assuming there's others that I just haven't looked into enough. But the majority of them, the very popular ones, are fake. Primitive Technology Idea, Mr. Tifu, like all of these massive ones that sprout up out of nowhere, get 500 million views. They have like all of these crazy intricate things like water slides with giant giraffes and crocodile statues in there looking like a fucking mini golf course that they apparently make out of sticks and stones. All of those are fake. Obviously. But no one wanted to believe me when I was trying to prove it, and now that Sunny's made a video on it, now everybody knows that they're fake. And people have apologized to me in Twitch chat for not believing me, and I accept your apology, but still, I told you so. Now let's go through the video and go through the evidence a little bit and get a little more in depth on it. Have you seen the video debunking those primitive building videos? I actually still haven't seen Sunny's video on it yet, but I also debunked those videos on stream, and I was met like I was trying to teach teriology. No one believed me. I tried debunking it on stream because I was telling people that most of them, almost all of them, are fake, and nobody fucking believed me until SunnyV2 posted his video on it. Now I've been vindicated. But yeah, I still haven't seen his video yet. He came out with real evidence and explanation. Man, suck the dirtiest part of my ass. I came at you with, voice crack, with real evidence and explanation, but you guys didn't want to hear it at the time. I brought up like 3 different videos showing the aftermath of primitive building videos where someone bought like 10 acres of property and there was like multiple locations where they made those like underground primitive swimming pools and shit, and you could actually see construction equipment, tire tracks and all of that. And you guys were like, no, those are just naturally occurring jungle tire tracks. Like, I came at you with evidence and you still didn't believe me.
Almost every single primitive building channel is underpinned by countless different lies, and we've got tons of evidence to prove it.
Goddamn right we do.
Now, we need to put an emphasis on the fact that this is a 500 million views per video. Users.
That channel name is so shameless, Mr. Tifu. Is it supposed to like capitalize off Tifu being a popular YouTuber in the algorithm? I'm actually not super familiar with this one. Was that the idea behind it?
Users continued to mention one name over and over, crediting him as legitimate amongst the sea of phonies. Primitive Technology.
Yep.
The 10.4 million subscriber channel, which is when going back to the beginning of these silent, relaxing videos, it becomes pretty obvious as to why they're credited.
If Sunny plays the same videos I played in my evidence, I'm gonna be tight.
Primitive Technology cuts no corners and shows how each stage of the construction is legit.
Yeah, Primitive Technology is real. Again, this follows the same format as everything else on the internet. Someone comes out, does something super impressive, legitimately, and a lot of other people will try and do it as quickly as possible to cut as many corners as possible to try and capitalize off it. It happens everywhere, so it's not like it's surprising that it happened with Primitive Technology. But yeah, he's legitimate. 100%.
Or blue.
And it's a weird blue colour. Why is it so blue? Probably because they're probably spilling dye in or something. There's no reason for it to look so blue like that.
Are they really creating these structures out of mud and sticks? Well, when you do a little bit of research, the answer to this question is most certainly no. The best evidence for this is found when
I mentioned this as well. In all of these videos making these elaborate, luxurious pools in the ground here out of nothing but sticks and elbow grease, they have like the bluest water of all time. And they're supposed to be getting this water from like nearby rivers or springs that they bring back to their location using like hollowed out logs and making a network out of that. But that's just a bunch of fucking baloney. So in the rest of the video, you'll see the cameraman even mentions that they just bring water themselves and put it there. And in another video that I brought up on stream, also mentioned in Sunny's video, it's mentioned that the water that's at those pools isn't even close by. They don't actually use logs or anything. There's even like PVC piping and stuff in order to help with it. But that is just absolutely not even close to being real in any sense.
Frame in an 8-foot deep trench. Now, if they're digging this deep with sticks, how are they avoiding large rocks and potential tree roots from, you know, the massive line of trees seen just behind them? Are they being assisted by large machinery? Well,
no,
we'll get to
they're
that
just
in a
very
little bit,
strong.
but first, let's focus on the clip where a guy in a white t-shirt can be seen working on a project in the background. Yet, if
No, that's just their cameraman. He's also using sticks over there in order to whittle out just a little stubborn branch is all.
as the video would suggest. It is a large operation, as you may suspect, with a large team
I'm
behind
shocked.
it. After he then offered to answer any questions we had about their channel, we attempted to figure out how many different construction sites before capturing over 8 minutes of footage with a drone. We'll refer to
So you guys believe it when he puts this in his video? I pulled this exact fucking thing up in my rant on these things being fake. But now that he puts it in his video, you guys believe him? That is actually hurtful. That actually hurts my fucking feelings.
There's initially a clip where 8 different workers can be seen standing around a rectangular hole in the jungle, followed by another grainier clip from a far distance where somewhere between 7 and 10 people can be seen building a swimming pool.
So to further explain this clip, which is something I've talked about at length, a YouTube channel named Photo Expression flew a drone around an area where a lot of these primitive builds took place. A lot of pools and structures like that. And he saw a lot of the aftermath, which is just a ton of trash everywhere, cement bags, tire tracks, as well as pointing out inconsistencies such as the amount of people that'll get like to work on these. So as you just saw, like teams of 7 to 10 in some cases, maybe even more. The cameraman even mentions that there's never really less than a dozen people working on a build. And this photo expression video just shows a lot of it and giving you a lot of insight into where the builds are taking place and how they're being done.
Is when you compare his meticulous method of creating fire in the wild to the fire making of these Southeast Asian primitive channels, as mentioned previously, it becomes comical. They slap a couple of rocks together before beginning an explosive
Well, they just have
fire on
better
large logs
rocks.
with no kindling whatsoever. John Winnon draws a big circle and begins to dig it out. Only in the next frame, suddenly there's spray paint on the ground that they forgot to rub out. Additionally, on the wall of the hole, these long smooth cuts can be seen which are completely incomparable to the cuts being made by the stick.
No, he's using a
there's
bigger stick
reason
for those,
this. Turns out
obviously.
spray paint marks weren't the only thing that they forgot to rub out, as in the minutes that
Tire
follow,
tracks.
excavated tracks can be seen here,
Yep.
here, and here.
So now you guys believe these are real tire tracks? Interesting. Weird. You guys just think I'm some kind of big fucking bumbling idiot who doesn't know what fucking excavator tracks look like.
However, was that they forgot to take the actual excavator out of the top right hand corner. According to the email sent to us by the
I didn't
cameraman
even-
on one of these channels,
I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty sure I pulled up that same video and even I didn't notice the actual excavator was there. Yeah, well, you know, I hit more times than I missed in my evidence. But that would have been a really compelling piece for me, I think, I'm not gonna lie.
the initial boring process, whilst incrementally we film the builders doing superficial works on the
I
whole.
would have never
The video
imagined
on
it
which
was
the excavator
this
can be seen in
big of
plain
an
sight,
industry,
then
though.
goes on to strangely display the collection of concrete from a river, which is the exact same clip reused from the previous video. Now, why would they reuse the same clip twice in 2 different videos? Well, it's because collecting concrete from a river is completely and utterly bogus. Concrete doesn't grow in a river, according to a civil engineer who had commented on one of these.
I will fully admit, I never really stopped to think about the gathering of concrete. To my stupid little reptile brain, I assumed that you could get something that resembled concrete using river minerals and dirt and mud and shit. I never realized how outrageous that was until Sunny V2's video on it, so I think that would have been a strong point for me to have made, but I was too stupid to make it, so I'm glad Sunny shed light on that, because it absolutely slipped by me. And I think it's important to note that even though it is clearly confirmed these are all fake except primitive technology and maybe a couple others, it's not going to affect them. People are still going to watch even knowing that because they just watch it for that comfort feeling like, oh, this is so satisfying. Oh, look at how cool that giraffe in the pool is. So it's not exactly going to hurt them, but it's at least nice that people will now finally know for sure that the shit is fake. and stop trying to pretend that it's not. The WWE of primitive building. Yeah, honestly, at this point, I would go like full-blown showmanship here and just make it really entertaining. They should have storylines where like there's a rival builder, like an evil construction man who comes by and tries to like tear their house down or something that they have to fight. I get real wild with it.
Has their own unique method for creating natural concrete. This channel's concrete is simply a mix of dirt and water, which, if you think about it for 2 seconds, doesn't create concrete and rather creates muddy water or mud, which is just dirt after the water dries. This other channel gets a bit more creative with it. Expression had stumbled upon various completed primitive builds, also showed that after these channels are finished building, the sites are simply left to rot. This video doesn't speak for every Southeast Asian primitive building channel, but in this particular case, rubbish was left everywhere, including, as you might guess, cement bags. The fact that the videos are fake isn't were attached together then used to siphon water from a river to the pool, only there was no river. Photo Expression found the exact site of this pool, then stated in his video that in reality, the closest water source was more than 6 kilometers away. Instead, he found a bunch of blue plastic piping attached to a tap in the ground. The funny part is any scene where you see them sourcing water from some magnificent waterfall or lake, they're actually going somewhere perhaps hundreds of kilometers away and pretending to take it back. The video in which Photo Expression...
This camera guy seems so nice. Like, he just seems like such a jolly guy. Just, like, actively making fun of them while still working for them. Well, that's a big I told you so moment for me there. Thank you, Sonny. I've been vindicated. In fact, I built 3 mansions already. My man. They hated him for telling the truth. Yeah, I was just ahead of my time. Like Galileo. If I had to guess, I'd say all of those fake primitive building channels are probably all owned by the same company who just outsources it to multiple channels to try and get the most juice for the squeeze, which is why you see so many like variations of the same name, like Primitive Technology Idea, Primitive Technology Life. Mr. Tifu's kind of an anomaly. That one kind of comes out of nowhere and getting real wild, but I really do think it's probably like one company that does it, which is why they're all so similar. I know I'm tardy to the party with this subject, and I'm sure you've already seen it by now since it happened a few days ago, but just like Game of Thrones Season 8, it just keeps getting worse. It's the Actman situation, Actman vs. YouTube. The Actman is a large YouTuber who recently posted an hour-long video, basically an ESPN 30 for 30 documentary, on another YouTube channel going over all the awful things that they've done or said in their time on the internet, and as a result of posting this video, he received a strike. YouTube took it down due to nudity and sexual content because of a poorly photoshopped cucumber next to the person's mouth who the video was about. That seems like a pretty drastic over-enforcement of the rule. If they really found it to be highly sexual, it should have just resulted in limited ads as opposed to a full strike on the channel. Like, I've eaten a banana in a video before, and now I'm starting to sweat. Like, what might happen to me? It just really felt like one of those moments that was a full-blown mistake, and we've seen it a million times in the past, where the YouTube bots controlled by Skynet malfunction and issue a strike at random by accident, and then it's overturned shortly thereafter. However, the appeal was rejected within, I believe, 30 minutes of the Actman submitting it. A manual rejection, which means someone with a pulse supposedly looked at it and still said, yep, that shit's staying off the platform. We're putting the kibosh on it right now. So then it became a little bit fishier. Why? The reasoning just doesn't make any sense. It's not like he uploaded Mr. Hands or 2 Girls 1 Cup in his video. It's a tiny, tiny, tiny piece of an hour-long video that had something that is slightly sexual and by all definitions pretty inoffensive. Almost no one's gonna look at that and be like, holy shit, cover your eyes. Oh my lord, he's going too hard. He's going hog wild out there. It's just not the most sexually explicit thing in the world. Even if they're going full Weenie Hut Jr. mode here, it's still pretty tame by those definitions. Like, it just didn't make any sense. I also think this highlights another shortcoming YouTube's had since the beginning of time, where if a single minuscule piece of a video is a problem, they strike the whole video. They take the whole thing down instead of just letting you yourself remove that piece, that insignificant little piece, that 2 or 3 second little problem zit. Why not just let the creator pop it? YouTube has a built-in editor where you can take things out. So why not just alert the channel like, hey, the video is fine, but there's this one part that's a problem. If you want to keep it in, it's going to get age restricted or you're going to get a strike, but you can take it out and nothing will happen. We're letting you know you have 1 week to take it out. Every single channel would elect to take it out. Like in Actman's case, if they just told him the cucumber Photoshop thing is a problem, I'm certain he would have used the editor to just take it out of the video. Problem solved, and then there's no issue. And that saves YouTube a lot of trouble as well, because that completely avoids the ensuing shitstorm. Why not just let us use the editor to take out the problem? It's something that I also pitched to Susan, the CEO of YouTube, when I talked to her, and she thought it was a great idea, as did the policy head. That was 2 years ago. When is it coming? But anyway, in his anger, he turned to the dark side and committed the sin that every YouTuber is guilty of. He went to Twitter to start a shitstorm to finally force a real answer out of YouTube, to finally get an actual response and real action from the company. But unfortunately for Actman, he ended up with YouTube's cucumber in his mouth. They responded to this by age restricting 2 videos of his that were completely unrelated, and then just hitting the speedrun any % record for appeal rejections by slapping it down in 30 minutes. So, needless to say, the Twitter action wasn't super effective for Actman, but this was only the beginning. Because as of 2 hours ago, YouTube wasn't done huffing and puffing, they blew his whole house down. They demonetized Actman's entire channel, leaving him ineligible for future monetization. This is essentially being fired from his job, all without ever getting a single explanation as to why. It just happened. So this seems like a complete failure on YouTube's part here, and everything that resulted after the initial strike was done in pure pettiness. There's one more thing I'd like to talk about, and it's a little unrelated to the exact Actman situation, but it has to do with the way YouTubers get YouTube's attention directly. As you've noticed throughout the entire history of YouTube, every time there's a problem, people go to Twitter to talk about it, and vent about it, and tag YouTube in it. And the reason for that is because for most channels, that's the only means of getting a response from the company. Do you know how fucking pathetic that is? To have people like Actman, who are essentially employees, having to go on Twitter and publicly whine about their boss? That's so demoralizing. Having to grovel at their feet, cry and beg for just a little scrap of information as to what's going on and if they can lend a little hand to fix a problem. That is just the worst system of all time. But that's the only way most YouTubers have any access to the company, and it seems to be the only efficient way of getting things solved. And I'm guilty of doing it too. I've gone on Twitter to take a fat dump Baruski on YouTube for something they fucked up on, because I try every other alternative going through all of the proper YouTube channels, but it never leads to solutions. The only thing that does is by making a big hubbub on Twitter about it. It's just so pathetic. No YouTuber or anyone wants to be publicly whining on Twitter about a problem. They want it to be fixed behind the scenes, and YouTube shouldn't want it to be a big problem on Twitter either. The Actman shit has been trending for like 12 hours now. It's like the #1 trend in the world. And it's bad for YouTube, but he's tried everything else. He's been talking to his partner manager, whom I'm just going to say seems like has no power in this situation, which is about par for the course because a lot of times partner managers have absolutely no ability to solve problems. They're fundamentally just hall monitors for the principal, but don't actually have any level of power, unfortunately, though I do believe they should, because every partner manager I've ever known at YouTube is a great person, really on the side of creators, but their hands are tied with what they're given from the company and how to handle problems. So the only thing YouTubers can do is once they exhaust their partner manager, if they even have one, and once they exhaust all the official channels, all they can do, the only thing left, is to make a big deal about it on Twitter. And it sucks. It sucks for YouTube because they look like shit, per usual. And it sucks for the creator because no one wants to just be publicly, making a big scene about shit that should be private. It's just so frustrating that it's been like this for years with no signs of changing. They need to improve the communication. When I had a conversation with Susan, this was one of the things I brought up, and I was told that they're working on making that better. That's been 2 years now, and it's still the same. And unfortunately, in Actman's case, it backfired on him because YouTube got upset about it and started really blasting his whole channel over the issue. Even though they only had a problem with one video, for some reason they extended it to his entire channel, which seems to be purely done out of spite. Regardless of how you feel about Actman or Actman's video that started all of this, I believe everyone can agree that the strike is utter bullshit. There is no grounds for nudity and sexual content strike here. And there's even less reasonable explanation for why two completely unrelated videos got age restricted shortly after this problem was brought to Twitter. And there's absolutely zero reason for why his whole channel was then demonetized afterward. All of this completely unrelated from that first video. It seems like a complete fuck up from YouTube and an utter failure to enforce their policies properly. And I'm pretty confident they will overturn this. I really do think they will. I think at some point it'll go up the right chain and the right people, and they'll realize that all of this was a big mistake, and they'll overturn it. But they need to not only accept responsibility, but improve the system that keeps failing the platform. There's no reason, again, why YouTubers have only one course of action, which is to go to Twitter. Partner managers need more power to fix things. There's just no downsides to giving partner managers more power. Legitimately, only good things can come from that. It's not like it's gonna birth Dr. Doom. There's not gonna be some rogue YouTube employee partner manager who just becomes a supervillain and, uploads Goatsy on everyone's channel or some shit. If a partner manager has more power and can actually solve problems like Actman's here, which would only take a couple of seconds to recognize that this is an over-enforcement of their policy and a mistake, then that whole problem gets shut down immediately, and it never makes it as far as this one has in the public eye, where now it's a huge thing on Twitter and YouTube and Twitch. A lot of people talking about it on Twitch too, because it's such a big, wide-ranging issue. None of that happens if a partner manager can just solve it themselves. But unfortunately, we don't live in that utopia. We're fucking condemned to this dystopian Narnia where YouTube has this archaic, awful system in place that nothing ever gets solved unless there's an absolutely massive public backlash against the company. So now everyone sees how stupid YouTube looks and how mismanaged and dysfunctional these systems are, and it's a bad look for the platform. It's bad for creators, and it's bad for the platform that there is no actual way of solving problems privately. It has to be done publicly in the public eye on Twitter in order for things to get solved on YouTube. That's so silly. Give YouTube partner managers more power to fix problems, and you solve a lot of reputational damage to YouTube. They can avoid so much conflict in the future if they just give those partner managers the ability to fix things. Everything that's happened to the Actman this week is absolutely terrible. It's awful, but I am confident it's going to get overturned and fixed. But it's still extremely embarrassing for the platform as a whole that the only way these things get fixed is when there's a big enough public backlash for it. There just needs to be a better system in place, or this is going to keep happening forever, as it has been for the last decade. Just fucking fix the problem. Partner managers really do everything they can to help their partners on the platform, but they just don't have many tools of helping. Give them those tools, and you will stop issues like this. That's about it. That's about it. See ya. Today, it all ends. A journey 7 years in the making. There was actually more time spent building up to this conclusion than there was for the entire Phase 1 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and this is a story far more important and far more special. This is the story of Michael Superbacker and the Air Umbrella. I've covered this story for the last 4 years. I made my first video about this situation 4 years ago. To break it down, there was a Kickstarter scam called the Air Umbrella, which promised to deliver some kind of fucking Harry Potter level device where it's a umbrella that just shoots a bunch of air out to deflect rain and keep you safe and dry like an invisible force field. It was able to squeeze $100,000 out of gullible people's piggy banks, and among those people was Michael Superbacker, our anime protagonist. When he didn't receive his Air Umbrella on the scheduled delivery date, he got a little upset, so he posted a comment wondering, where it was. Did it get lost in the mail? Did the mailman steal it, perhaps? Can he get a replacement? Just asking questions, and then when it became more clear that it was a scam, he got very upset. Eventually, the Air Umbrella staff and team basically just goatseed themselves in the comments saying, yeah, we're done with the project, get the fuck out, fuck you guys. But Michael Superbacker wasn't taking this lying down. He stayed in the Kickstarter comments fighting for 7 years, demanding they forge him the legendary Air Umbrella Excalibur. And I even made an update to the story only 3 months ago, just letting you all know that Michael Superbacker is still out there. demanding that that air umbrella arrive at his doorstep one day. And now I am happy to say, thanks to the help of sufficiently advanced Alan, an incredible YouTuber, Michael Superbacker has finally gotten his chance at an air umbrella. Let me show you what's going on. First tab. Oh yeah, we can watch the air umbrella now. So Alan hit me up a couple weeks ago about the air umbrella. He was inspired by the Michael Superbacker story, which we've been covering for the last, 4 years? Sporadically? So, he apparently made his own real air umbrella for Michael Superbacker to complete the saga. I haven't seen the video yet, but I did know it was coming. And I'm so fucking excited. I feel like Michael Superbacker, upon actually receiving an air umbrella, is just going to, fade away into dust. Like, his time on this realm will end. Because that was his last purpose, the only thing anchoring him to this realm.
More on them later.
He's the Prime Slum, Oma, and Monopoly.
Is full of scams. Allegedly. I mean, look at these real useful products.
For sure.
A laser razor.
Not allegedly.
You've got a coolest
Very
cooler.
much so.
You've got whatever the this thing is.
This air umbrella shelters you from the rain.
Yeah,
using
baby.
A powerful stream of air.
No, seriously, what the hell is this? It's a CAD model of a stick? How did
Yeah, it's a
825 people
tampon,
fall for this?
kinda.
What is this guy doing? He's zip tying
Hitachi
a
wand.
stick onto another stick? Nothing is going on. What is this montage? No, you don't
The
talk.
air
I am
umbrella
talking right now.
Is currently in the stage of research.
Is
and
some Sam and Moza.
Research D's nut campaign, and I'm seeing a lot of them from
Yeah.
Michael Superbacker.
That's the boy.
238 of them are Michael Superbacker. That means, on average, he has left a comment here every 10 days asking where his air umbrella is for the last 7 years. This is
He has actually done that, so a little heads up for anyone unfamiliar with the Michael Superbacker story. The air umbrella was a Kickstarter gone wrong. It was a big scam. Got $100,000. Michael Superbacker, along with others, were demanding their air umbrella. And they all try the same thing everyone that's going through the stages of denial try, which is invoking the Kickstarter code of we are owed a refund. And when that didn't work, Michael started treating this like his sailor's log. It became his diary. So he's written on the comment section of the air umbrella so much. I've learned so much about Michael as a person just through his comments on that Kickstarter. It's so good. It is one of the most interesting pieces of internet lore.
Maybe we'll get an extra present/reward smiley face.
If only
This
he
will be the last
knew.
smiley face Michael ever commented on this page. A few
True.
months go by and Michael starts having doubts. It said a December delivery. It's January 9th and I haven't received my umbrella yet.
Thanks to the
Are
resub
they
sim.
already sent out? Where the f is my money? Where the
There he
f
is.
motherfuckers? Pretty much the only person left actively leaving comments on the page.
Standing
Hello?
atop that
I've
pile
been
of
literally
corpses.
asking the mailman every day. Is it here? Is it here? He just looks at me with a sad face. Please send my product soon. Thank you.
I love Michael.
That brings us all the way to this year, 2021. 1 week ago, day 2582. The search goes on. I want to make Michael Superbacker a real working air umbrella. And I'm not the only one
Yes,
who's
what a
invested in this
saint.
journey.
Michael is a man of focus, a force of nature so powerful not Oh, only air yeah, umbrella I'm can flattered. stop him.
Charles White is the only person who I'd call a Michael Superbacker expert. Hello?
Hey,
Hey, Charlie, thank you for taking the call. We're doing this interview in a van.
that sounds fitting for something like the air umbrella, really.
What?
I like to imagine him as just this mysterious air umbrella spirit of vengeance.
The reason I'm calling you is I want to try and make Michael Superbacker a real working air umbrella.
That's so fucking cool. I think it's like that last piece of his identity. Once he gets it, he will be whole.
I sent Michael an email, and I messaged him on YouTube. And I
He's a
tweeted
Prime Atlas.
over a period of 2 months with no response. It's time to get serious. The Michael Superbacker YouTube channel has 0
He hired a
videos,
private
doesn't have
eye.
featured channels.
He's been commenting on my channel for the past 2 years, so I did recognize his logo.
Is he talking about
Wait,
Air
what?
Umbrella on your channel?
No.
Hold on, what? I didn't know that. This is so thorough, Alan. He really went full Sherlock Holmes on this case. Who does he like on YouTube? Audrey. I can find her. And using Audrey, I can get to the source.
Maybe the like, I got 1,000 subscribers without posting is kind of a flex.
He was the first comment on one of your videos. First, Happy New Year, Audrey.
That's a little...
Like, he was the...
That's a little wild.
Oh, maybe he's dedicated.
Michael Superbacker won't reply to me, but he will reply to Audrey. Would you be willing
This is
to
genius!
follow him back on Twitter
Fuck!
for me so that you can send him a DM? On October 4th, Audrey DM'd Michael Superbacker this message, and as of the publish of this video, he has yet to respond.
Man, what the fuck? What?
Michael Superbacker, wherever you are, whoever you are, I will
How did that
hunt
not
you,
work?
I will find you, and I will give you an air umbrella. We're gonna crowdsource this. If you know someone who might know someone who might know someone who might know who Michael Superbacker is, show him this video.
This
and
is
Michael,
amazing.
when you see this, leave a comment right here on this video so we can all confirm, and I will finally send you your air umbrella.
So I tried really hard to find it because I'm pretty convinced Michael Superbacker did send me an email at some point, which I responded to and never got a response back from. I feel like maybe Michael Superbacker is a hostage and he's only allowed internet access in like brief moments of recess, like very sporadically over the last 7 years he's been able to use the internet, and he spent the majority of that time commenting on the air umbrella post as maybe a cry for help. Maybe if you went through all 238 comments he's left and like take the first letter of each comment over the 7 years, it like spells out his location, longitude and latitude or something. But I'm almost certain, though I couldn't confirm it, that he did email me once. So I know he is like a living, breathing person. He's not like Cleverbot. Not that that's helpful to the search, but I'm almost certain. Well, that was easy. Well, that search didn't take long. He was probably the first comment on this video.
I've commissioned what is probably the closest thing in the world to what the Kickstarter promised to deliver.
Can we try it out?
That looks pretty good.
I'm gonna be a man from the future.
It's just a leaf blower.
Lay on me!
Oh yeah, okay, that didn't work very well.
Keep going, it might work! Oh no, I can't believe it didn't work. But that's when Simone came up with a brilliant idea that was really
Thanks,
obvious
Prime
in
Jordan.
hindsight.
Hope you like it, Robotic.
That's much better. Let's see how well this works. Oh! That's like legitimately like the force field that the Kickstarter claimed would be formed.
Yeah.
If that air
That's
umbrella
pretty,
was the
well,
size
that was
of a
pretty obvious. I don't know why I didn't think of that.
We're gonna try the hose on the mist setting first, because this is about like as light as it gets. It's like a gentle drizzle. I'm just gonna back into it.
Well, I like to imagine Michael Superbacker really will use this.
It goes sideways.
He'll walk around New York
Then
with
it
this
goes
during the
sideways.
rain.
Mist. It works with mist.
It does work with mist.
He's the Prime
3, 2,
Internet
1.
Lord in the resub Anthermy.
Oh, it's kind of working. Are you getting...
Now, what if we double-fisted this? What if you had two taped together in a bigger head?
Just when I thought things couldn't get any better, God himself got involved.
In case you didn't know it,
Thanks,
it
Resub
is wet
Rinny.
outside.
We're LA. We're always unprepared for the rain. Come on.
I don't own an umbrella.
Oh
because
my
it's
god, this is
rare.
this is actually a sign. This is a sign.
Future of umbrellas is not a tuba. It's for you, Michael. I think this is working.
Thanks, Resub Gingerbet.
And then the rain turns back on. It passed the final test. Real rain. Dude, that is until the rain's picking up.
I'm getting drenched, so go.
It seems to be working.
It's not working anymore.
We just need a bigger... It needs to be like an absolute massive cannon.
Hey, you're buying me lunch, right?
Yeah, I'll get
This
you
is
a
so
photo.
cute.
Yeah.
His 7-year-long journey's finally come to an end.
I want to thank Bluehost for sponsoring this part of the video. If you didn't
Oh
know,
my
Bluehost is one of
God.
the largest website hosting providers, and it already
Michael.
powers millions of websites. They've got
Here's
this
to
web
you.
builder that's really style.
I have no doubt he also set a speedrun world record. No, but this is the real Michael Superbacker, I can already tell. Yeah. Look at the merch, where is it? Oh, here. Gotta strike while the iron's hot. I say, yeah, let it fucking ride, Michael. He's trying to get his money back. Well, yeah, but now he's got an air umbrella. It only took them 7 years, and they changed manufacturers. Many of you know one of my favorite channels on YouTube was All Gas No Brakes. I'm using the past tense because All Gas No Brakes, as we know it, has been put in the dirt, buried, sent straight to hell by a predatory company called Doing Things Media. That is our anime villain for this arc. So just to give a brief background on everything, All Gas No Brakes is a channel fronted by Andrew, who's probably the last great journalist. He is the final raid boss of beautiful journalism. He goes to the goofiest conventions and meetups and puts a mic in front of them and a platform to just express their deepest inner thoughts. A lot of times they come across like actual lunatics right out of a fucking asylum, and then other times it's actually pretty informative. Andrew's microphone is like a Millennium item from Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, this shit is an actual magical item that somehow draws out the crazy from anyone he puts it in front of. It's so fun. Like, he'll go to Talladega and he gets like 40 people that for some reason are all talking about butthole. It's incredible. Everything Andrew posted on All Gas No Brakes was gold. I've been a huge fan of the channel for a long time, and seeing him blow up over the last year or 2 years has just been really great because I think he truly deserves it. But what he didn't deserve is what Doing Things Media did to him. Just like a bidet, they cleaned his ass. You see, when Andrew was just a young man, a brand new Boy Scout to the internet, Doing Things Media gave him an RV and $4,000, and from that point forward tried to control his entire fucking life, like the puppet master pulling his strings. They wanted their dick into every single one of Andrew's holes. And recently Andrew made a post on Instagram saying that he no longer makes any money from All Gas No Brakes or the Patreon, so he has really no affiliation with either of those anymore, as those both seem to be controlled by Doing Things Media. This means something must have gone awry with the deal that the two had, and Doing Things Media has completely locked him out of the empire he built. Now, if I had to hop in the mystery machine, eat some Scooby snacks, and take a guess at what went wrong with the contract, I would wager that Doing Things Media was taking an absurdly high percentage, like a lot of these companies used to do, like Machinima and shit. And as Andrew continued to grow, he became less comfortable with the massive percentage they were taking from his cut. So he probably wanted to renegotiate the contract, to which Doing Things Media pissed their pants, flipped over a desk, and kicked Andrew out of the office, spitting and cursing his name, which leaves us in the situation we're at now. I went over and showed a lot about this on stream the other night, so I'm just going to play those clips, and then after that I'm going to go a little bit more in detail. All Gas No Brakes. As many of you know, that was like one of my favorite channels on YouTube. I don't know how many of you know this, but All Gas No Brakes is dead. Oh, Jesus, Andrew, the guy, is not dead. I mean the channel, sorry. The channel is dead. So, definitely phrased that poorly. The channel is dead. What happened is the deal between Andrew and the parent, Doing Things Media, has led to him being thrown off of this channel and the Patreon. So he no longer makes any money from All Gas No Brakes channel or the Patreon because Doing Things Media is a predatory piece of shit. Yeah. So All Gas No Brakes, the channel, is gone. I'm sure they're going to try and move on without Andrew, considering that's all they have. Doing Things Media is truly fucking horrendous. Look at what they own. Literally all they have is Instagram meme pages that steal other people's memes. And then for some reason they also had All Gas No Brakes. It's so fucking sad. They really took advantage of it, Andrew. They really fucking did. I was reading about it the other day. And then, what's his Instagram? Yeah, he talks about it in this. I hate Instagram. Man, Instagram fucking sucks. But yeah, he made a post kind of detailing what's going on. Again, pretty much what I just said. Doing Things Media fucked him in the ass raw. He seems like a really good guy too. Definitely didn't deserve it. He built that shit from the ground up. Doing Things Media did nothing for him. Well, I mean, they gave him the RV and $4,000. Yeehaw. I mean, it's not all doom and gloom though. He also has a deal with Tim from Tim and Eric. So I believe what's going to happen is Tim's company, Absolutely Productions, are going to fully take on Andrew, and they'll probably create their own thing. So it's not it's not completely the end, but All Gas No Breaks, that YouTube channel, is Doing Things Media, and we will probably never see Andrew on that again. Really sad story. Andrew got machinimud. Now, it's important to note that Andrew never says Voldemort's name. He never mentions Doing Things Media. However, he does mention that the root of all the evil that he's experiencing right now comes from a contract that he signed with an employment company that with a production company that loaned him the RV and shit like that, which Doing Things Media did. So, I mean, it's pretty clear that it's most likely Doing Things Media. I'll keep it a little open-ended because ambiguity is pretty cool, I suppose. Creates a nice mystery. But I think we all know who's behind the mask here. Doing Things Media is a conglomerate, I suppose, that literally only steals memes. Almost everything they own is Instagram meme pages that they lift from Reddit and Facebook. It's pathetic. I don't know how they got so lucky to have this golden goose with All Gas No Breaks. It's fucking wild to me. And what's even crazier is they have the chutzpah, the gall, to think that they can continue to run the All Gas No Breaks channel without Andrew. That channel is Andrew's expression. People tune in for Andrew doing these interviews. I don't think there's going to be too many people excited to see his Season 2 replacement where they bring in fucking Paul Blart to do the interviews at FurryCon or whatever. It's not going to be the same, and people aren't going to watch it as much, and it'll eventually fizzle out and die like a little wet fart into the wind, and All Gas No Breaks, that beautiful channel, will be going out with a whimper instead of a bang. All because Doing Things Media is greedy and overconfident in themselves. Even on their own website, they say All Gas No Breaks grew on Instagram as if it was their doing. Like, them posting an All Gas No Breaks clip on a fucking meme page of golfers doing things helped them in any way. Andrew grew this shit on his own. He pulled up his fucking bootstraps, pulled that shit up to his goddamn nipples, and went hard on great content. Doing Things Media did not grow this channel. Andrew did. And they kicked him out of his baby. It's sad. I really cannot believe the hubris of them to think that this was in any way a good idea. This company should have been fluffing Andrew's dick when it was soft, bending over backwards for him. If he wanted to spit in their face, they should have accepted it with an open mouth. They only have Andrew. Everything else they own is not even close. It's all fucking meme pages that are dying on their own. It makes no sense that they would think that they can strong-arm Andrew when he should have all the power in negotiation since he is their biggest outlet. Now, of course, you could say, oh, but Charlie, some of the pages they own have more Instagram followers than Andrew had subscribers. But there's a big difference between an Instagram follower that doesn't engage with your content, where like on fucking golfers doing things you have 200 likes on the newest post and shit like that, versus a massive YouTube channel pulling in millions of views per video. It's not comparable at all. Andrew, on every single one of their things I looked through, is by far their biggest. And for some reason, they decided to try and slap him around a little bit, and it didn't work. Andrew is no longer associated with it, and I don't understand how Doing Things Media thinks that they were in any way doing a good thing here. They lost their golden goose. It would have made more sense if they just tried to appease him and kept him under the Doing Things Media blanket, considering he's their most well-known and biggest one. It's so fucking dumb. And it's absolutely shameless that they take from Patreon, too. Locking him out of his own Patreon, as if they had any role in that. That's people that directly wanted to support him and the channel, and they're taking that shit away, too, which is fucking crazy. So I'm guessing the contract meant that they owned everything. They had a piece of everything Andrew would ever do in his life, which is probably what scared him away from them and their refusal to renegotiate. These are all just guesses, of course, but that's what it seems like based on his Instagram post, and just based on the history of these kind of channels like Machinima and other MCNs like that. They have oftentimes done some extremely shady, sketchy, and just disgusting practices, taking advantage of people that are young and don't really know the landscape. It's pathetic, and now YouTube lost one of its most interesting channels on the platform, and it's sad. That's really about it. I just wanted to talk about this because it seems almost nobody knows about this. I know Ethan talked about it on the podcast recently, but that's the only other person I've seen even mention this happening, which is surprising because All Gas No Brakes is beloved on the internet, but it seems like just not a whole ton of people know about this. So hopefully this will let you all know that you can expect some changes in All Gas No Brakes Season 2, if they even try to move on without him, which they shouldn't. And hopefully we'll see more of Andrew and see more of his interviews and his content going forward, where he's probably going to be making some even better stuff with Absolutely. So that's really about it. So yeah. With our modern technology and our advances in the scientific field, we're able to understand and explain a lot of things that occur in our universe, yet there's still one very human phenomenon that eludes all possible rational explanation, and that is fetishes. Fetishes are a lot like nipples. We all have them. Now, my personal belief is all fetishes are totally fine as long as no one's getting hurt and everyone has consented to the activity. It's totally consensual across the board. You know, whatever 2 consenting adults or even 5, 10 consenting adults want to do behind closed doors, totally up to them, totally within their right, and totally fine by me, just as long as all parties agree to it. You want to stick G.I. Joe action figures up your buttholes while getting pepper sprayed for sexual pleasure? Be my guest. That's fine by me. I personally wouldn't come because of something like that. That would be like some shit I'd see on 24 for some advanced torture shit, but to some people that might be pleasure. And for those people, that's fine with me. Now, that being said, if you're gonna put your fetish on YouTube, well, I think it's totally fine to make some jokes about it. Today we'll be exploring the wild and wacky world of clown fetishism, honk honk, and it's a fucking doozy. I can't show you half of the clown fetish videos I found on YouTube because a lot of them are just genuine porn. I watched an uninterrupted 5-minute porn scene between 2 clowns that had nudity. I don't know how half of the clown fetish videos are still on YouTube, maybe for educational purposes, or maybe YouTube's jerking off to it themselves, I really don't know. But I can show you a few of them that really capture the fetish in essence.
Hey Daddy, I've missed you. Where have you been? I want to be your boyfriend.
No, this is not a sneak peek into the upcoming It Chapter 2 movie. This is clown fetishism. I've been having a hard time debating with myself whether or not the video is real or a parody of clown fetish videos. It's really hard to distinguish for sure because a lot of clown fetish videos are very similar to this, just with nudity and a couple other people and nipple clamps. So it's really hard for me to deduce whether or not this was a genuine attempt to tease clown fetish enthusiasts to get them ready for action, or just kind of taking the piss out of clown fetishism. I really don't know for sure, but god damn it, it's definitely worth sharing regardless.
Daddy, do you like my hair? Is my hair pretty? Do I look pretty for you? Hey Daddy, I know what you want to do. Do you want a balloon animal?
This guy's looking like the kind of birthday clown you'd find on Fiverr. Like if you were really trying to save money on your child's birthday, you'd hop on and hire this guy to go perform. He's looking like an alternate dimension Ronald McDonald who suffers from a crippling meth addiction and who has also just been defeated once and for all by the Hamburglar. I'd also like to say I really appreciate the voice he's putting on for the character. It really takes it to the next level. He sounds like a squeaky door mixed with a little bit of Alvin and the Chipmunks.
I just wanted to remind you how beautiful you are.
Well, if you haven't filled your pants with cum yet, it's probably safe to say that you don't have a clown fetish, but I'm no expert, so I'm going to keep exposing you to these Rorschach paintings, and maybe you'll start seeing more clowns and more sexual awakenings within your own body. This next one is just from another clown fetishist, and she actually does something different. Her whole channel is based around clown fetishism. It's called Coulrophilia, I believe. I'm going off memory, but I'm pretty sure it's Coulrophilia, because the fear of clowns is coulrophobia, I think. I could be totally fucking wrong. That might be like the fear of League of Legends. I honestly have no idea, but I think it's something like that. And her channel is based around that and talking about clown-related material.
Oh, well, don't mind if I do. Ooh.
So the Netflix adaptation Harley Quinn is drinking her cotton candy shake to entice the clown enthusiast while she goes over some clown content. And as far as fetishist content on YouTube goes, hers is about as tame as it gets. She just reviews clown shit while in clown fetish getup for most of her videos. If I scrolled 2 videos under hers, I found someone in full clown getup spanking bare ass cheeks with a university textbook. So, as far as fetish content goes, that's about as tame as you're gonna find. But if you're looking for fetish content, you're probably not looking for tame, you little pussy. You're probably looking for some off-the-wall, wild clown shit, aren't you? Well, don't worry, I found something that I can kind of show snippets of. So here.
Sort of a kinky clown. And he's like, oh, what exactly does that mean? Are you doing anything illegal? And I'm like, no, I'm not doing anything illegal. But, you know, just kind of kinky weird stuff, Dad. Beefy.
That was Ouchie the Clown. Ouchie the Clown's kind of a pioneer when it comes to the fetish. He even worked with some of the greats like Penn and Teller. I don't know if they're clown fetishists themselves, but they definitely collaborated on slapping some ass cheeks around and clamping down on some tits. These are the only 3 that I could find that I could even show on YouTube in any capacity, which is a fucking letdown. I was hoping there'd be more that I could show, but almost none of them are gonna fly. So unfortunately I can only show you these 3, but I've seen probably like 10, maybe like 15. No erections, so I don't think I have a clown fetish, but I guess you never know, maybe I haven't met the right clown. But I actually hypothesize that clown fetishism is going to be on the rise in the next year or so, because the clown emoji is so widely used all over Twitter and the internet in general. It's the newest big internet trend or meme, you know, here's your clown card, you left your clown shoes, clown clown. So, you know, you never know. Maybe it's a sexual awakening across the globe, and maybe clown fetishism will become the new norm. It'll be weird not to fuck while dressed as a clown. You never really know. It's just a theory, a game theory. Just wanted to showcase the fetish. That's really just about it. So yeah. Yesterday, YouTube lost one of its most interesting channels, Unus Annus. The death of Unus Annus was like the ending to the Iron Giant movie, where the Iron Giant flies into space and intercepts a missile, sacrificing himself as everyone looks on in admiration and horror for what he ultimately did. And I can't really say the death of the Unus Annus channel was an untimely death. In fact, the death was right on time. For those that don't know, Unus Annus was a channel and project started by Markiplier and Ethan, Crank Gameplays, where they would make 1 video a day every single day for a full year, and then after a year, at exactly 1 year, they delete the entire channel, erasing every video from the internet, and to my understanding, taking down re-uploads of the content, but not like evil like the DMCA, where you get your entire Twitch channel banned if you hum 4 seconds of a Billie Eilish song. They take down the re-uploads because it defeats the entire purpose of the channel if it all still lives on post-mortem. So it really is kind of scummy to re-upload the shit knowing full well the purpose of the channel is to have the videos erased after a year, so that way the content only lives on in the memories of people that watched it while it was live. So I can absolutely respect the decision to take down re-uploads, because it does spit in the face of the entire meaning of the project and puts a big hemorrhoid right in the Unus Annus of everything. Now, the content that Unus Annus was posting wasn't like low effort shit. It wasn't like they played Minecraft for an hour and a half one day and split it up into 10 parts over the course of a week and a half or anything. They did entirely original ideas every single day, and some of them were some like really big scheme projects where they set up an entire like fucking haunted mansion and escape room, and just really interesting ideas and content that they were able to produce every single day for a full year, putting so much effort and so much into that channel, and then at the end of it taking it all down. That takes a lot of strength and some of the biggest fucking dicks I've seen in a minute. The channel had over 4.5 million subscribers, every video was easily over 1.5 million views, and even still, that didn't sway them from their goal. They wanted to create this very unique project, and they stuck it through till the end, doing everything they said they would do. They did a live stream last night for 12 hours, counting down the end of the channel. They had over 1 million people watching it. It was a really good live stream, looking back on all the memories, just going through the entire year in rewind one more time before ultimately taking it all down. It was an extremely interesting live stream. I didn't get to tune into a ton of it, but only like 3 hours in between me getting unhealthily addicted to Demon Souls and playing that on stream for like all day. But when I was tuning in, I really enjoyed it, and I got to catch the ending of the stream, which all of it just was great. Like, the whole project, I think, was something truly interesting and fascinating. I was honestly expecting them just to come on the live stream and just goatsy themselves in front of everyone and just say, you get fucking pranked, nerds. We're actually just going to keep posting. We're not deleting the channel. What are we, idiots? You know, just something like that. But they really did follow through on everything, and I think it's all the more special because of it. So I just wanted to talk about this because I really think the Unus Annus experiment was something really, truly unique. Something I haven't seen before, and definitely not to that level, with that level of commitment too, especially in 2020 with everything that happened with all the pandemic and shit. For them to continue posting daily, doing these big projects, and then still following through with deleting the channel, I mean, it's just really something special, and they should be very proud of themselves. And I'm sure everyone that watched the Unus Annus content has a very special wet spot in their trousers because of it. I don't know when or if we'll ever see another big project like this in the future. The only other thing that even comes close that I can think of is there's this channel I've tuned into occasionally, like checked in on once a year, like a concerned parent, where this older man will get in a bathtub wearing boots and a suit and just sit there and moan for about 20 minutes, and he uploads that once a day in different suits and different boots. So, I mean, it's kind of similar to Unus Annus in certain respects, I suppose, but I just don't think I don't think it has what it takes to reach the level Unus Annus has and made such a profound effect on so many people. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Suit Boots Bath Guy will pull it off. But right now, I just don't know if we'll see another big project like this that can compete with what Unus Annus was able to do here over the last year. So I just want to give my goodbyes to Unus Annus, the factory of fucking bangers. I'll toss some flowers on the grave and pour some Fireball whiskey on top of its tombstone. Also heard Ethan was talking some shit about me during the Unus Annus live stream. So you're real lucky that it was ephemeral, Ethan, and that there's no record left of you talking shit, because if I saw that, Hulkmania would run wild. I'd take your ass right to the WWE SmackDown WrestleMania. I'd throw your ass in some kind of confusing Kama Sutra pretzel hold submission style and start biting your goddamn nipples off or something. I'd get fucking vicious talking shit about me behind my back. Have you no shame, you cruel, cruel man. But anyway, really just wanted to talk about Unus Annus because I thought the whole thing was great and it's just a pretty cool thing. So that's about it. So yeah. Weird fetish videos are a lot like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3. Absolutely fucking gnarly. I'm always fascinated by the amount of bizarre fetishes that I can find on YouTube, and today I found a great one. This one is a pie in face fetish. I think that kind of speaks for itself. I don't need to explain exactly what it is. However, God, I don't think you're prepared for just how fucking amazing it is. Let's just get right into this sensual action. I hope you all got a condom on, because you're going to be blowing some fat loads here.
Oh, I bet that you will never guess what we're gonna do today.
I wouldn't be too sure about that claim right there. I wouldn't bet on that one. I think I could venture a pretty accurate guess as to what will unfold here today.
You see all these pies in front of me?
Oh yeah, I see them. I haven't taken my eyes off those pies. Ooh, you just pointed at my favorite pie.
Getting excited, aren't you?
Mm-hmm, yes. Don't laugh at me. Don't laugh at me. What the fuck?
Every single one of these pies is going to be smashed into my face. It's pretty hot.
Now, I like that little noise she makes with after she says what she's going to be performing here, the Cirque du Soleil stunt with the pie smashing into the face. I like the noise she makes, the It reminds me of like some Nintendo 64 shit, like an Ocarina of Time if you startle one of the NPCs and their first line of dialogue starts with one of those kind of things. That was kind of nostalgic. And she says it's pretty hot, but I don't know if she actually believes that. I feel like she's just trying to take advantage of civilized fetishists like me who get off to pie and face videos and shit like that. I'm not sure if she's an authentic practitioner of pie facing. However, I'm going to be grading the passion behind the pie facing in just a moment once she gets into the action here. Then we'll really see what she's made of.
Because that's always the issue with these things, is somebody's got to clean up the mess.
I don't know who the fuck is drag racing outside, but they're hauling some serious ass. I guess she's doing this on the set of the new Fast and Furious or something, or maybe she's at like a Formula 1 race or something, but that man was really pumping some dick out there in that car. Now, she just keeps teasing us with a lot of foreplay before getting into the actual pieing of the face, so I'm going to skip a little bit here. I'm also going to have to do some zooming in on her face instead of showing the video as is, because she takes her dress off and she's just in a bra, and I don't know if I'm allowed to have that shown. So just to play it safe and err on the side of caution, I'm just going to show us what we really want to see, which is the pie in the face. We don't really care about the bra, titties, and stuff like that, so that's just giving you a heads up. Now that honestly was textbook form right there. Beautiful execution. You couldn't have planned it any better. That was a beautiful pie and face maneuver. I will say I'm a bit disappointed in the quality of the pie, especially on the paper plate. It just seems very low effort, kind of haphazardly thrown together, not a whole lot of preparation, not even using actual plates. I'm going to have to deduct a few points from my score on this one as a judge, but overall, not bad. It gets the job done. I masturbated and got off when I first saw this on that first pie. And just look at her face. It's clear that she does love this. She has a very clear love of the sport for pie facing. It's the face of euphoria right there. It's fucking horrifying. It really looks like in the Bleach anime when Ichigo is first becoming a hollow. It looks like that fucking mask. Let's get on to the next pie. I don't know what kind of psychopaths find this hot, but this shit's disturbing. It looks like some type of old 1980s horror movie poster about a candle wax demon come to life. It's like a really fucked up modern art piece. It's like the Scream if it was the Cream. Craziest shit about this shit is there's an actual cameraman here. It's not like her doing this to a static camera in her own comfort, privacy area. There's someone actually watching this hands-on, firsthand, a front row fucking seat. Hats off to that hero for not laughing or being grossed out or ejaculating. I mean, any of those could have happened here. This is a fetish after all. It's a very peculiar one, but you know what? Honestly, I'll give you my stance on fetishes. There's some real weird ones out there, but as long as no one's getting hurt, I don't give a shit. Whatever you're into, go for it. As long as no one's getting hurt, totally fine by me. This shit, totally fine by me. And god damn it, does it make for one spicy, beautiful disaster of a YouTube video. Now, one of my favorite things when watching these bizarre fetish videos is reading the comments from the people that enjoy them, the pie and face enthusiasts in this case. The comments here were pretty normal for the most part, just simple stuff like, wow, I'd love to pie her in the face, or wow, I wish she'd pie my butthole in the face. But there's one person in particular that left perhaps my favorite series of YouTube comments, so let's turn our attention to those for a moment. We have to girl who was in my your own home. Now, truer words have never been spoken. It took me a little while to really understand the metaphysical nature of this statement here, but my God, it's something that'll it's a thinker. It's a profound statement here. Never before has a YouTube comment been able to convey so much emotion in so few words. It truly is have girl who was in own home of hers. And now I understand a couple of you are probably confused, so they came back to clarify by saying you. So now it all makes sense. And even if you still don't understand, they replied to the comment again for further clarity by saying face. So you put it all together and we have to girl who was in my your own home, you face. So thank you very much for the beautiful words. And of course, thank you to the woman who made this beautiful video. It's truly fantastic. So thank you. That's it. See ya.